The Committee of Parole is reconvened. The time is 9:55 a.m. Good morning, sir. Give us your name and your DOC number, please.
Percy Johnson, 114290.
All right, Mr. Johnson, my name is Pearl Wise. To my left is Mr. Roche, and to my right is Mr. Freeman. We comprise your panel this morning. Let me explain the process. I'm going to read some information in the record. Afterwards, we're going to conduct an interview with you, start with Mr. Roche. The information I have shows we have no visitors today. So after Mr. Roche completes his interview, go ask the warden for input. And after warden gives his input, you have the last say. You have an opportunity to tell us whatever you want us to know before we render a decision. Do you understand the process? Yes, okay, I'm going to read the information to the record now. Percy Lee Johnson, 114290. You're listed as a third felony offender. Your offenses are sexual battery, theft, and simple burglary of inhabited dwelling, and armed robbery habitual. Your total deal time is listed as 100 years, 11 months, and 11 days. Your parole eligibility date is listed as August the 16th of 2011. You have a just a good time date of September the 16th, 2089, and you have a full term date of May the 16th of 2091. That sound about right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Please answer Mr. Roche.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Johnson. How are you?
Blessed.
Good, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, you are right at what, 56 years old? And you're a third felony offender. Let's go back to your first arrest. When was you first arrested?
Who was my first arrest?
Your first arrest. 1984.
Yes. Okay.
And what were you arrested for?
Burglary.
What were you arrested for in 1984?
A burglary. Burglary.
1 second. I don't want to call you wrong. You were arrested for theft in 1985. What were you arrested for in 1984?
It was burglary. Aggravated burglary, simple burglary.
Let me remind you, because you tend to forget things that you don't want to remember. You were arrested for aggravated rape. You were arrested for aggravated rape of an 11-year-old child. Is that correct?
Yes.
That was intentional whole parish. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the charge fed out, and you led to a charge of sexual battery. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So you, according to your master record, you are a sex offender. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to read the information into the record. So this information will be there. So when I make my decision, it will be based on this information. Your general conduct, your general disciplinary conduct is very poor. You have over 35 disciplinary write-ups, and your last one was in 2021, only 12, 18 months ago. And that was for defiance. So tell me about that. Why did you get a write-up for defiance in 2021?
Me and the security officer had a dispute about me going to my work assignment and closed the doors because of bad weather. And I reported her to the major about selling drugs. And we got into it about that, and that's really exchanging words with each other. And that's how that happened.
Now, I don't see this very often. When I look at your annual progress report, it listed your institutional record as 4. And I don't see that for once in the blue moon. So you've not done well while you were incarcerated. You have a poor supervision history. You have extensive criminal background. The entire community is opposed to your release. The 21st JDC District Attorney's Office is strongly opposed. The sheriff in Grove Parish is strongly opposed. The chief of police of Independence, Louisiana is opposed. The chief of police of Tickfaw, Louisiana is opposed. You have a lack of program. Tell me the programs that you've completed since you've been incarcerated.
14 or 15 maybe. I got to deal with, hey,
Okay, tell me about the program.
I got Cajun raising, goal setting, AENA, y'all training successful, pre-release, church program, baptism, Church of Christ.
According to my records, and this record is dated February 16, 2023, you finished anger management, personal development, victim awareness, and reentry. And that's all.
I got more.
Those
Okay,
are,
go ahead.
those
Go
are,
ahead.
I was just telling him those are his faith-based certificates. They're not what Mr. Roche is referring to. He does have, he has completed KG raids, Mr. Roche. I don't know if you have that there. I didn't hear you say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's anger management. You finished in September of 2022.
Right. Yes, okay.
And I finished pre-release.
I don't see pre-release. Well, I do see reentry and support resources. That was in 2011. Is that
He'll
correct?
complete-
Yes, sir.
And he'll complete pre-release this Friday, Mr. Roche.
Okay, he's presently in 100 hours pre-release.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, you have a history of violence. Why so much violence, Mr. Johnson?
I believe it was from the household from my mother. That's where I really believe it came from at that time. My mother used to get abused from my stepdad. You know, I used to run off in the dark while she was getting beat and this and that. You know, she's not here anymore, but you know, I come up like that, you know, up under the sin of getting beat by different people.
Well, Mr. Johnson, I understand fully. And there's two things, there's two ways you can go with negative activity that you see. You can either emulate and do exactly what that person does, or use that negative activity to show you what you don't want to do. And you try to emulate what your father did to your mother, but it's wrong. Am I right?
Exactly.
What is your job at the facility?
I was still walkers, trustee, class B, trustee.
How long have you been a trustee?
Around about 2 years back in the 90s.
Tell me what your transition plan is gonna be, where you gonna work, or where you gonna live.
I got a lady from the job fair. I'm going offshore. That's really what I want. Really, that's my goal. Going offshore.
You're gonna live in Roseland, Louisiana. Tell me who you're gonna live with.
I was planning on living with my brother's son, and Christopher McKnight. You know, I talked to him on the phone before, and he got a job. He worked. He had a job for me, but I'd rather go offshore because me being offshore, it shouldn't happen. I could verify where I'm at. I'm in the middle of nowhere making honest money. You know, but that's our plan. And also, I told him if I can't go there, I would like to go to a transitional house.
Okay, now. Tell this panel, Mr. Johnson, why we should release you early with almost 60 years left on your sentence.
I learned a lot. Person taught me a lot about respect. And my victim, if I could see my victim there, I would apologize to the bottom of my heart. So I knew what I did was wrong. It was wrong. But I was young, didn't know nothing. I'm almost 57 years old. I know now, you know, all give respect, give it, you know. And well, I don't get off in no trouble. I stay to myself in this prison. I learned a lot through classes that I'm.
Mr. Johnson, you're talking about respect. And why did you get a defiance write-up only 15 months?
Because reason I got it, because the person was selling drugs. And the person that the security was selling drugs to was guy that stepped on the side of me, you know, and I don't do drugs. I never had a drug problem. I don't like being around. And I felt like
been incarcerated for over 20 years. You know the chain of command. If you knew somebody was breaking rules, breaking the law, you could report it to the proper official.
I did.
Okay.
He's fired right now today.
Okay. Warden Meyer, would you like to make any remarks?
Well, Mr. Roche, I mean, obviously he's had some conduct problems in the past. And about 15 months without a write-up, I do commend him for that. But I think the most important thing is for Johnson, he has not had any sex offender treatment at all. And I think that he needs that before the board considers his release. We've talked about that, he and I. We talked about that when I was going to recommend, so he's aware of it. But that's my recommendation to the board.
Thank you, Warden. Ms. Wise?
Thank you. Any other questions? All righty, so it's on you now. Mr. Jonathan, what do you want us to know before we render a decision? What you want, you can make your statement at this time. What you want us to know?
I want y'all to know that, no, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. It was wrong, you know, what I done, but I learned. And if I want something out of life, I work for it. I do work all around now. And I'm tired. I done had 3 strokes. I'm tired and I just lost my mom, my dad, and my wife. I'm tired, you know. And I'm ready to go out there and make a living the right way. That's the life I do have left. And I want to go offshore and make me a living and buy and own what I got the right way. I don't want nothing that don't belong to me.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Well said. You thought about that. You prepared for that. Very good. Very good. The panel ready to vote?
Yes. Mr. Johnson, based upon your general disciplinary conduct, based on a lack of rehabilitative program and opposition with the entire community, my vote is to deny your request.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Freeman?
I concur with Mr. Roger and I vote to deny.
Okay, we have 2 votes to deny at this time. Mr. Percy, I read in your record about the strokes, and I'm glad to see how well you're doing. I'm just glad to see that you're doing really well. But I concur with my colleagues. My vote is to deny as well because of for me, it was a sex treatment program. He hadn't had that. And I'd like to see you a longer time right up free. It's time to stop it. It's time for you to just move on past that. And the nature of the offense. So when you get in this sex treatment program, set on the front row and really pay attention. But today, sir, your parole has been denied. Best wishes to you.